Okay, everybody, good afternoon. Thank you for participating in today's webinar about Senate Bill 1383, short-lived climate pollutants law and how this will affect you in La Quinta. I want to start off really quick by going over some housekeeping items before we proceed with today's agenda. I'd like to just make sure that everybody is please muted to start off with. Let's please have everybody muted. I want to remind you that this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the city's website along with these presentation slides. Only panelists will be able to unmute. All others, please stay muted. If not a panelist, please keep your videos off. If you have questions, please type your questions into the chat box at any time or email them to us afterwards, and we'll make sure to get back to you with an answer. Contact information, our contact information will also be available at the conclusion of our webinar. So if you have any questions, we'll make sure to provide that to you before the end of our webinar. So I will be going over our agenda for today. Panelists will be we're gonna go, I'm so sorry. We're gonna go through a brief introduction. So everybody will go ahead and introduce themselves. We'll be discussing current recycling regulations. We'll go over SB 1383 for residents and businesses. We'll be providing a residential implementation timeline. We'll also be discussing recycling contamination. We'll conduct a Q&A session, and that will follow with a conclusion with our next events and dates and contact information. So at this time, if we can go ahead and our panelists for today will be introducing themselves from La Quinta and Vertec. I'll go first. My name is Reina Camarena. I've been with the city of La Quinta for about 4 years now. I am a management assistant in the city manager's office, and I've been working for the city for about 4 years now. I assist with waste and recycling, affordable housing, and with any upcoming events. And we'll pass it over to Jeremy.
Hi there, my name is Jeremy Griffin. I've been with the city almost a year. I work in the city manager's office as a management specialist, and I assist the city manager with all waste and recycling programs, affordable housing, legislative analysis, and some economic development. And then over to Vertec with Clara. Sorry, Clara, let me get you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Clara Rivera. I am Vertec's Municipal Marketing Manager, City of La Quinta's Municipal Marketing Manager as well. I am here joined with Mike Vito with Vertec as well. We both are very comfortable with the City of La Quinta's residents and business community, and we're delighted to be a part of this panel and provide some education and outreach on existing regulations and current regulations, and most importantly, our residential organics program that's up and coming. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to sharing all of this information with you. As the City of La Quinta mentioned, today's presentation is about SB 1383, but equally as important, we felt it was important for everyone to understand the different agencies and the different roles that every agency plays, along with the Vertec's role in implementing regulations for the law. We find it's very important for all of us to understand the different levels of communication and enforcement that happen from the state down to the jurisdictions, down to the haulers, and now with SB 1383, the responsibility of businesses and residents to participate. So with that said, if you are not familiar with CalRecycle is our enforcement agency. CalRecycle is located out of Sacramento. CalRecycle is the one that proposes the legislations. They also enforce and monitor and implement all of these regulations and laws. And they also look over all of the programs and services that the City of La Quinta provides. City of La Quinta's role in implementing and monitoring and providing these services is that as a jurisdiction, they are required by the state of California to provide these services and programs. And most importantly, with SB 1383, they are required to provide these programs, and inevitably they will be required to enforce these programs. I don't think that we'll have that problem in the City of La Quinta, but with these new regulations that are here and present today, that is the City of La Quinta's role. Vertex's role is to partner with the City of La Quinta to provide the services and the programs and to facilitate a partnership that also provides information and records to the City of La Quinta that then provides those information and records to the CalRecycle. And inevitably, once we provide all of those programs and service updates, that allows the City of La Quinta to remain compliant under these regulations and therefore puts us in a good place as the City of La Quinta, commercial businesses and residents that are using the programs and also implementing the programs and monitoring the programs. Today we'll be recapping California's regulations. These are current regulations that have been in circulation for a little bit over a decade. They are equally as important as SB 1383. SB 1383 has a mechanism that enforces and requires the city to report on AB 341, AB 1826, and AB 827, to name a few. The first component of these regulations will focus on our commercial friends that may be joining our call today to ensure that we are compliant, that we understand the rules and the regulations, and just provide a synopsis of what those are. First up on the deck is AB 341. AB 341 was implemented in 2012. And what it's in essence is saying is if you are a commercial business in the City of La Quinta, you are required to have a recycling program if you are producing 4 cubic yards or more of any waste. If you are producing 4 cubic yards a week of waste, you are required to have a recycling bin. So maybe the next time that you're visiting one of your local businesses, you can peek in the enclosure and make sure that everybody's compliant if and when they're producing 4 yards or more of recycling. And that is what AB 341 states. AB 341 states that if you're a business in the City of La Quinta, you are required to have a recycling program in place. It's the right thing to do. It's a great thing to do. And if we have any commercial businesses on here that may have just opened up, please give us a call and we will set you up with a recycling program and have Mike and one of our wonderful team members come by and provide resources to you and help educate you and your staff to ensure that you are recycling right. AB 1826. This is a big one. The City of La Quinta has done an outstanding job of participating in the commercial organics program. We are talking about 99% participation within our community in helping us divert this organic material. You'll learn a little bit more in later slides about what is organic material. For the essence of AB 1826, commercial businesses are required now by law, if you are producing 2 cubic yards or more of organic waste, or so let's say you have 1 cubic yard of trash, 1 cubic yard of recycling, that makes 2 cubic yards a week. You are required to have an organics program in place. There are some caveats to AB 1826. If you feel that you are a business who does not produce those required thresholds, please give us a call and we will do a free waste assessment to ensure that we can provide information to the city on your potential waiver of the program. In essence, 1826 states that if you are producing the 2 cubic yards or more of waste a week, you are required to have an organics program in place. What does that mean? It means that if you are a business in town and you're producing the food and you have food scraps at the back end of your kitchen, you're required to take those materials out of your trash stream, have an organics recycling program, and send those over to our facilities such as Coachella Valley Compost. We are very fortunate in the Coachella Valley to have not only one, but two compost facilities that really represents the closed loop recycling that we all hope for out of all of these regulations. So again, if you are new to the city and you just opened up a business, welcome to the city of La Quinta. We welcome all of our businesses to participate in this program. We have tailored toolkits, outreach information for your businesses so that you can understand and be a champion of AB 1826. This is also required by law to participate in. AB 827. Over the last 2 years, we have been under an unprecedented time, which meant that a lot of the businesses that would be affected by AB 827 were closed. They were not serving patrons in their front end of house businesses, and therefore we were not monitoring for these items. We are now in a different place, and all of these businesses are welcoming everybody to come and enjoy a deli sandwich or a food to go, and patrons and business owners are now required to provide 3 bins in the front of their businesses. What AB 827 says is if you're a commercial recycling, they are for commercial recycling requirements. AB 341 and AB 1826 covered businesses must provide organics and recycling containers at the front of house to collect waste generated from products purchased and consumed on the premises. These containers must be placed adjacent to the trash, be visible, easily accessible, and clearly marked. On the picture of the right of this presentation, you have a sample of a business. They don't necessarily need to look like this. It does need to be a 3-bin system, and they do need to be labeled and marked. So for example, maybe you enjoy a sandwich at your local deli house, and you've ordered up at the front, you've gotten your sandwich and your cookies and your pastries, and you decided to get a bottled water as your refreshment choice. At the end of your meal, you've enjoyed your sandwich, you have very little food to get rid of, and then you have the wrapping and all of the items that come from your meal that you have just enjoyed, and then you finished your water bottle. What AB 827 says is that you would take your material, put it into the composting bin. You would take all of the wrapping and all of the materials and put it into your landfill bin. And then you would also have your water bottle that's now empty and clear of liquids, and you would place that into your recycling bin. Please give us a call. We have free resources for the businesses that may require food labels. We have those available. We have free waste assessments for all of our team members to come and visit and assess whether you are a candidate for front of house mandatory recycling programs. That is what AB 8276. We are currently monitoring for those programs. We are currently visiting businesses that may fall under these thresholds. And again, we ask that you divert those items, enjoy your meal, and ensure that everybody has an AB 827 program in the city of La Quinta. So again, if you're not sure if your business falls under those rubrics, please give us a call, ask for a free waste assessment for AB 827, and we'd be happy to schedule some time to come and visit your location and maybe enjoy a bite to eat.
Thank you, Clara. Great overview on those 3 regulations. Now into the meat of SB 1383. So this is a great video from Cal Recycle, and it's about 3 minutes long, and it explains the bigger picture of California's climate issues and how SB 1383 policies will help reduce these adverse effects.
Climate change is no longer the future.
It's completely engulfed, and it is hot.
It's already here.
California is hitting a fearsome milestone.
We're experiencing temperatures, world record breaking temperatures.
Sorry about this.
The state of California, 130 degrees.
We're seeing bigger wildfires, stronger storms, and devastating droughts.
I'm standing currently 40 feet underwater, or should be. Today, we are advancing a drought emergency.
But both the state and here at CalRecycle, we're doing something about it.
SB 1383 is the biggest change to happen in waste management in over 30 years.
The new super pollutant reduction strategy rules for organics recycling and edible food recovery are part of California's bold effort to fast-track climate progress by reducing the most potent climate super pollutants like landfill methane emissions. Food, fiber, wood, and other organic waste materials make up the largest material types landfilled in California every year. When organic waste material decomposes, it emits methane, a short-lived climate super pollutant 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide, and a major contributor to climate change. California's short-lived climate pollutant reduction law calls on the state's 40 million people, its businesses, and every level of government to reduce landfill methane emissions by achieving a 75% statewide reduction in organic waste disposal by 2025. The law also requires actions to make sure at least 20% of currently disposed edible food is redirected to Californians who don't have enough to eat. The state is encouraging cities and counties to start planning now.
There is a need for more infrastructure to process food waste.
To provide organics collection services to every resident and business in the state, and to connect grocery stores, restaurants, schools, state agencies, and other large food suppliers with local food recovery organizations to feed people, not landfills. In addition to putting more food on the table, the law will reduce pollution and greenhouse gases, the equivalent of taking nearly 2 million cars off the road for a year. By using innovative methods to make and use compost, we'll create things like biofuel and electricity and turn depleted dirt back into nutrient-rich, water-retaining soil. Building the next generation of recycling infrastructure will create about 17,000 green jobs of the future. Ambitious goals, putting California in a much better position to protect the health of our people and our planet.
The really big solution here is taking on the climate crisis.
Because it's still possible, I think, to avoid the worst outcomes.
So why is SB 1383 important? As the video mentioned, organic waste in landfills emit 20% of the state's methane. This is a super pollutant 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Organic waste makes up a third of what Californians send to the landfills. The state is committed to reducing these harmful super pollutants, improving the health of all, and creating green jobs. Some cities in California, and for any snowbirds, some cities in other states are already collecting residential organic waste. SB 1383 mandates that all remaining California cities do the same starting in 2022. What is organic waste? You may already be aware of green waste, such as landscape debris and lawn trimmings. Organic waste includes these items, as well as food waste, soiled paper, and soiled cardboard. Food waste includes food prep scraps before the meal and what is left over on the plate after the meal. Soiled paper and cardboard means greasy pizza boxes that you couldn't recycle before, as well as paper plates, cups, and napkins.
All right, thank you, Jeremy, for the clarification on and the educational outreach on organic materials, which we all have and we all do. I think the number one goal for all of us is to reduce the amount of food waste that's left over on our plate that inevitably will just void that whole component out. So let's be mindful, let's reduce, reuse, recycle, and upcycle whenever we can. Our next couple of slides are going to focus on our commercial sector and its impact with SB 1383. And then we will also go over our residential impact with SB 1383. We'll go over a virtual food scrap demo, and then we will close out our presentation. And we hope that you find this webinar one of many that we will be doing with the city of La Quinta, informative, and provides a warm welcoming to wanting to be an eco program hero. So as Jeremy mentioned, and as the video mentioned, one of the components that is required by SB 1383 is that businesses recycle, or I'm sorry, the businesses take their edible food that they have left over and they provide it to an agency to divert it from the landfills. Edible food donations must meet food safety standards, Good Samaritan laws, and commercial edible food generators must arrange to recover their edible food requirements. So under SB 1383, there are two-tiered approaches as the state has outlined. We are currently looking at the commercial sector being under tier 1 requirement, which states that grocery stores, food distributors, food service providers are all under tier 1 as of 2022. Tier 2 will be under 2024. What do those businesses look like? They look like hotels, restaurant facilities, health facilities, large venue and events, state agency cafeterias, and local education agencies. So let's recap SB 1383 for edible food requirements. If you are a commercial business, you will be receiving some site visits and some collateral soon that states you are identified as a tier 1 generator. What are your food donations capabilities? Are you donating current food that's recoverable? Where are you taking it to? And how much of it are you taking to? Those are the requirements for the commercial sector under edible food recovery requirements. Again, how much food are you recovering? Where is the food going to? And do you have an existing contract with those agencies? Those are all items that we're prepared to come and visit your business with free of charge to get a better understanding of what most of our large grocers have already been doing in the Valley, is recovering that edible food items and providing it to organizations such as Fine Food Bank. And the City of La Quinta and Fine Food Bank have a long history and a well-established support system that is already diverting a lot of this edible food requirements over to an agency that then is dispersing those, as the video has mentioned, to local residents who may need some assistance. And again, edible food, the ultimate goal is that we're, for residents, our ultimate goal is that we're plating the food that we can enjoy and not over plating our food that we'll have to eventually food scrap. So being a little bit more mindful about what we purchase, how we plan for our meals, and inevitably really reducing the amount of food that's left over on our plates that will end up in your organic material. For the residential sector, SB 1383, as Jeremy and Raina in the video has mentioned, it is a requirement that has kicked off in 2022. Rest assured, we are working diligently with the City of La Quinta to summon up that program and start to look at implementation and what that looks like for the City of La Quinta and our dear residents. So that is coming, so stay tuned. We'll have a couple of slides that gives you a better synopsis of what that program will look like for the City of La Quinta. So SB 1383, as Jeremy in the video mentioned, our number one goal is to help the state divert 75% of its organic consumption into the landfills. That doesn't mean that the city has to divert 75%. It means that the city has to help the state meet that 75% diversion goal. One of the other things that SB 1383 requires that all residents, including multifamily communities and commercial sector. But remember, under AB 1826, City of La Quinta did an outstanding job and are already signed up for those programs. So today we're focusing on the residential sector, but please do note that SB 1383 does require the City of La Quinta to provide organics programs for not only commercial resident or commercial businesses, but also for our residents in the City of La Quinta. And it also requires this, the state also requires to standardize the colors of the program equipment that are going throughout the state of California. So you may have seen a neighbor, you may be one on the call today that may have received a blue recycling container. Please embrace it. That's a new statewide standardized color. It's the blue, and it's your recycling, and stay tuned for what that looks like up ahead as we implement those recycling programs. SB 1383 also requires cities to provide recycling organics program education, and it has to be bilingual. It also mandates that the city monitors the programs, and ultimately it also says, SB 1383 says that the City of La Quinta can enforce these programs in 2024. Again, I am assured that the City of La Quinta will be the same in its compliance record for not only our commercial sector, but also our residential sector. And within the first few years, the main goal of SB 1383 is that we educate our residents, that we continue to educate our commercial businesses so that everybody can have a great understanding of what our programs look locally and what the programs are requirements, so that we can successfully implement and successfully be participants in this epic legislation known as SB 1383 that requires residents to now take their organic matter and put it into their green waste bin. And if you don't have one, stay tuned. That will be all coming in fall. Rest assured that we have a slide that dedicates the information to those items. So again, just to recap, SB 1383, the state tells the City of La Quinta, you are required to have organics programs for not only your commercial businesses, but also your residents. And you're required to start to standardize your blue bins and the color coordination throughout the state. And one might say, well, why is that so important? One of the goals of SB 1383 is that our recycling standardization is, if you have maybe some family coming into town from Los Angeles, they recognize the blue bin after, maybe an event that you're hosting at your home, and they are willing to recycle because they understand the system that is in place. Likewise, if maybe you're visiting some friends up in San Jose and you want to be an active hero in the event afterwards, and you want to help clean up after the event, you will recognize that the blue is your recycling, that the gray is your trash, and that the green is the organics program. And that ultimately is a holistic goal for all of us to, as we travel through the states, to understand what those diversion programs are. So here we have a synopsis of what's upcoming, what some of our friends who may have moved into town or exchanged a cart, this is what they look like. Again, the gray will become in time your trash, your blue will become your recyclables, and your green will become your organic waste. Rest assured that if your community doesn't currently have a organic waste program, in fall you will be notified of that equipment delivery that will be coming towards your way. So again, the new standardization colors as we visit our friends in other cities is blue for recycling, gray for trash, and green for organic waste. Virtual food scrap demo. I hope that all of you here will come by to one of our other webinars that we'll host with a live demo. But as we are functioning through a virtual world, we put the next several slides together for you to start to conceptualize what that organic food waste program will look like in your home, and how you will shape it and welcome it and embrace the program so that you can be continued eco-heroes as we develop the program for the City of La Quinta residents. So here are your two main pieces of equipment that you will cherish, that you will work with, and that you will keep and use as the program becomes deployed in fall. You have a current green barrel. That's what that will look like. If you don't, you will be receiving one. It also includes a food waste kitchen pail where you can place it conveniently somewhere in your kitchen, whatever works best for you, whatever you're going to be more comfortable with. But you will be receiving a green waste cart if you don't already have one, and a kitchen pail that will help you collect and be an efficient organics hero in the city of La Quinta. So here we get into our food scrap demo. And as I mentioned, we do have some live components coming up as we progress through this timeline. So for the sake of virtual food scrapping, the other day I made chicken soup, and you'll see in some of the later slides. Here you start in your kitchen with your food prep, your meal prep, right? So for the next few slides, this will all come together. For virtual food scraps, we have chicken, we have raw chicken in this picture, we have some parsley, chicken stock, pasta, the staples, the carrots, the celery, the onions, the peppers, sometimes we use diced tomatoes, garlic, potatoes, and maybe a bay leaf. As you gather all of those ingredients, you chop the ends off the bell peppers, you leave the ends on the parsley, and you do the same on the onions, and you peel the carrot, the garlics, and you peel the potatoes, and you have all of these items that are left over. What does that look like? That, my friends, is a picture of me making chicken soup last week. I was a little bit under the weather, and these were the food scraps that I had in there. You see the potato peels, you see I happen to use cilantro. I know the other picture said parsley. I had some cilantro. I had some cooked chicken bones left over. I had the onions prepped in there. I had some shallots, and I also got a little hungry as I was waiting for that soup to be made. So I enjoyed a banana, and that's why you see it conveniently placed at the top. This, friends, everybody that's joining us, is exactly what we look at when we're talking about food scraps. The ends, what happens after the meal prep. Banana peels, cooked chicken bones, cilantro, potato peels, shallots, onion, garlic. All of those items are the items that we would want to contain and remove from our current trash container and put that into our organics for future composting, as you'll see in the next slide. So the last component of that was having the food pail in my kitchen and putting all of the items into a lined container where we take these items after we've done with our meal or whatever capacity fills our kitchen pails, and we put all of our food scrap in there. You could see that I had some coffee grounds from earlier coffee that I had in there. I had some eggs that morning, and those were some of the items that we could put inside of our pail for show and tell in this virtual food scrap demo. So at this point, we would empty our ingredients into a lined kitchen pail. And what do you do after? You would take your contained materials, such as pictured here, in a lined bag, and you would place them into your organics waste container. And that, my friends, is as virtual as our food scrap live demo gets. So if we go back to some of those items, we have the food meal prep that happens. We have the chop, 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 chop. One more. We have all these items that we chopped, that we've prepped, and then we get the leftovers of all the ends and peels, and we set those aside, and then we place them into our lined container. We put them all in there, and then after that, we grab our food scrap items and we happily walk out and put those into our organics container. And that, my friends, is the empty kitchen pail bag into your green organics bin. And now you're an expert. Virtual high five, and we hope to see you at one of our virtual demo, or not virtual demos, but a live demo where we're looking for ideas on what items are best to do in our live demos. We're thinking about maybe some pico de gallo, some salsa, maybe some strawberry shortcakes, so that we can better understand and work together on what your kitchen pail food scrapping program will look like in your home. Residential implementation timeline. We're probably going to receive a lot of questions. We are finalizing, working feverishly with the city of La Quinta to finalize those programs, finalize those services, get all of those components together. What you can expect, though, my friends, in the city of La Quinta, is that you will receive a notice of service enhancements at least 30 days before your program is in place by US mail. We're required by SB 1383 to notify all of our friends in the city of La Quinta by letter that you will be receiving some up and coming service enhancements, hence the organics residential recycling program to your home. It'll explain about the arrival of the equipment, how to use the equipment. It'll also include some educational resources, organics do's and don'ts, what is organics, how do I use my kitchen pail? I've never used one of these, all of those items that will be provided to you. As we deploy that letter, we will be reaching out to some of the gated communities to get a better understanding of what those programs will look like. So stand by and post that letter. A month post that letter, residents will receive your organics program equipment with directions on how to use it, when to use it, and all of the educational resources to ensure that you're not contaminating your items and that you're placing the right items in the right bins in the city of La Quinta. And as we reach all of those 3 milestones, rest assured that the law says that we should and always continue to provide outreach, education, and support. It is our hope that we continue that effort, that we can work together. We are working with the city of La Quinta to ensure that we are going above and beyond with all of our webinars, all of our resources. It was great to see everybody at La Quinta's 40th birthday bash, where everybody was already starting to be aware of all of the different colored bins and the webinars. So thank you to all of you who are avid website people who come and join the City of La Quinta's website to know when those webinars are. And we hope to see some of you at our live demos where we can share stories about what works best in our kitchens and maybe what some of the things that have not worked best in our kitchens. So again, the first couple years that law allows for us to educate and outreach and monitor everybody's programs. And it's not until 2024 where the city of La Quinta has recently passed their enforcement mechanism, which is an ordinance in place that really reassures the community that we're taking SB 1383 seriously and that we inevitably are extremely excited to help the state contribute to its diversion goals and do the right thing and to help everybody out. So with that said, we are expecting the city of La Quinta's residential organics program to come in fall. You will receive a U.S. postmark notice in the mail that tells you exactly when that program will start. We look forward to seeing everybody participate, as well as everybody participates with their current recycling programs. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to us. We'll take care of it. We want to know what your questions are. We want to understand how we can better serve you. Please do give us a call and stand by for all of the resources and educational activities that are planned ahead. Again, if you joined us at City of La Quinta's and you got to see the BirdTech Mini and come by and speak to any one of our team members, including the city's recycling booth, we hope you found it beneficial with all of the outreach material and all of our goals and desires to really do the right thing and implement the program and have natural eco heroes in this new residential organics program that's coming in fall of 22 for the city of La Quinta. Contamination. Contamination is one of those items that is required under SB 1383 to monitor not only our commercial businesses, but up and coming in 2024 for residents. So if you're not putting the right things in the right bin, that is what we call contamination. This is an example of a picture of one of our material recovery facility centers. As you can see, it is not all recycling in there and there's a lot of trash. So contamination says that if you put the right thing in the right bin, you are doing a good job. But if you put the wrong thing in the recycling bin, you are contaminating, and you are inevitably one of many people that take a load and makes it to be sent over to the landfill for not properly diverting the items in the recycle bin, the landfill bin, and the organics bin. You inevitably will see some contamination notices that will be placed on your containers and some notices that will be in the mail as we continue to develop and move past education and outreach. So if you have any question on what those items look like, please give us a call. We want to make sure that everything is clean, dry, and empty inside of your recycling containers, and that we keep a lot of those things that are not, for example, hoses do not belong in your recycling container. Hoses belong in your trash container. Batteries never, ever belong in any of the 3 containers in your home. Please visit the City of La Quinta's website for further information on how to dispose of batteries. Pool chemicals also do not belong in any of your containers. We want to make sure that we're keeping our community safe, and what's important, all of our friends and safety, and especially our drivers who are carrying those loads with contaminated items that sometimes cause trash to truck debris fires. So again, some of those items do not belong in your bins. You've learned a little bit more about what organic waste, if you currently have a green waste, what those items look like. We would like to say that the green organic bins that you guys currently have in your homes, those are for landscape waste, prune waste, and we don't need to see any blinds inside your green waste barrels. Those definitely, if they can fit in your trash, and if not, please call us for a bulky item pickup and we'd be happy to pick those up. So again, putting the right thing in the right containers is the way to go. Wrong things in the right container causes contamination and causes loads to be taken from where they could have been taken to a recycling center. Inevitably, they will end up in the landfill. Help us do the right thing, friends. Next slide.
All right. Thank you, Clara. That was an amazing presentation on every facet of SB 1383 and what Burtech and the city are doing about it for our residents and businesses. And for everyone else, now that you have seen the presentation and heard from the experts, what questions do you have? I see 2 so far, but at the top of your screen or bottom, wherever it's located, you can click on the chat box and type your questions in there. You can send your question to the group. There's a pull down menu. You can do everyone, or you can send it directly to the host, which is me. Either way, we'll get them read and get them answered in the remaining time. We'll probably stop a few minutes prior to 4 o'clock just to wrap up the webinar and tell you about next events and our contact info. All right, so here we go. Our first question. What about neighbors who never recycle anything? Well, I would say that is bad. That is bad recycling policies for that household. But I don't know if there's a reporting to our.
I think in general we want to advocate and have all of our neighbors in our direct community recycle and do the right thing. If maybe they're missing a recycling container, you can have them call Burtech and we'll take care of it. You know, maybe their recycling container disappeared, or maybe they just don't have an idea. We're welcome to always welcome calls on any questions that you may have, but absolutely recycling is a requirement of the original ordinance for the city of La Quinta and many cities across our state. So we want to make sure that everybody is reducing their carbon footprint, inevitably recycling and doing the right thing. And so maybe it's an off question, but we do champion it. It is a requirement that you have weekly service at your curbside.
Yes, thank you, Clara. And some residents may not know what to recycle. Maybe they're new, and that their particular previous residents did not do it this way or didn't use these color bins. So that may be a part. But another question: what's going to happen to our red bin that we're currently using?
Great question, friends. Great question, friends. Absolutely. What will happen inevitably is that your burgundy red, dark purple color, whatever color that may scheme for you, for us, it, comes off burgundy, the red bin, that inevitably will be taken away as your new programs get implemented.
Okay. So you'll get the new color eventually at Vertex, and whenever they're ready to give it to you, whether it's equipment condition or it's just that time to roll it out, and they'll take it from you. I guess on a flip question, is the gray bin going to just transfer over to be the landfill waste instead of recyclables?
We are currently doing that as we speak. You may have noticed that some of your neighbors, maybe you have a new neighbor that moved in, or maybe something happened to your existing bin. As part of SB 1383, the city is required, and the haulers are required, to no longer purchase existing colors. And what that means is that we have to keep our city compliant. And what that means is that we started to roll out as we transition into City of La Quinta's full implementation program. But we want to ensure that the city is compliant. We want to ensure that we can report back to the state that we are meeting those goals, and we can no longer purchase those burgundy reds. So yes, inevitably your recycling gray will become your trash. Or I'm sorry, your recycling gray will turn into your trash. Thank you.
Okay, another question about our presentation here. In your virtual food scrap demo, where does the plastic bag go?
The plastic bag, so we chop, we gathered. We placed all of our food scraps, and we enjoyed our meal. And, I didn't have anything left over after I had my soup. And I gathered all of my food scrap material, put it inside the liner. And at the end of the evening, I was done and my food pail was at capacity. I'm going to take that lined item and I'm going to put it inside of my organics container, my green waste container. So the contained food scraps will go inside of our organics bin, lined and placed as a picture. If you maybe wanted to go back, Jeremy Arena, back to that picture where we had the liner, back one more, right there. Nope, one more, over. So if you could see here, we're taking the product out of the kitchen pail. We walked it over to where we house our containers, and we are placing the food scrapped items inside of our organics container.
And then this bag, once it gets to the facility, it'll be separated from the organic material, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Because then a follow-on question, are special bags needed, like compostable bags? Are they needed for the kitchen pail?
They are not.
Okay, so either way, the bag will be removed from the contents. The bag is more to contain odors and to prevent intrusion from wildlife or critters into your food waste. What about cooking oil? What did you do with cooking oil?
Cooking oil, you can let it harden. You can let it be liquefied. It can also be placed inside your kitchen pail, and it can also be placed in your organics container.
Okay.
Now, if you're frying 12 turkeys and you have an extended amount of family coming in for, like, let's say Thanksgiving holiday, depending on the amounts of oil, you may want to contract out a oil vendor who can come and pick up X amount of gallons of used oil.
And a new craze with single-use utensils and flatware. How do we handle compostable plates and utensils? Are they going in the green bin now?
So we have a lot of industry challenges with compostable plates and utensils. Not all items are biodegradable. Not all items are created equal. And it is something that we're working as an industry to divert from all of our streams. As we test these products out, we are finding that they are not compostable, that they are not biodegradable, but certainly we're working with these items to ensure that they get placed into the right containers.
Okay. Empty milk cartons. Are these recyclable? Are they organic waste?
Empty recycling milk containers, silk milk, almond milk, quarter gallon milks like I use in my home, those all go in your recycling container, clean and dry and free of liquids, please.
All right. Okay, well, that is all the questions. A few comments here. Yeah,
Okay.
so far that's it. What about, Clara, what about the label? Right now, people have their containers out on their property. What about the new labels that will be applied to the container to make it a little easier to tell what goes in what?
Most of our new equipment will have the label embedded into the top of the lids, like you saw on that slides where you have the 3. So if you want to go back a little bit, you're more than welcome to look at those. So right here, you'll see that the carts will have those embedded on there, and we are required by law to put those on there. So you'll see the trash, recycling, and organics. It has what we want in there, what we don't want in there, and it's both in English and in Spanish. For the ones that are transitional material, you are getting the same exact label with the same exact information placed on your current equipment. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Clara, and thank you for your awesome presentation today and answering all these great questions. And thank you for helping the city out with this SB 1383 compliance, as well as other recycling legislation and solid waste handling services. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It is our absolute pleasure. I am so thrilled to see a lot of friends on this call. It really showcases your commitment to want to learn and to be an active participant in the city of La Quinta. And it's really what makes La Quinta unique and special, is that we have a lot of residents on the call today, a lot of commercial friends who are wanting to learn more and to do the right thing. So kudos to the city of La Quinta community for participating in today's webinar. We hope that you found it to be very useful. We look forward to seeing you at 2 of 3 of many more throughout the year. And if you have any questions, any comments, you're welcome to reach out to us, and we'll take care of it.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Clara.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I believe for this webinar, we'll be wrapping it up. You'll see on the screen the next 2 dates. We'll be sending emails and letting everybody know via social media, emails, all that fun stuff. So you could maybe join both or maybe one of the next ones. The next webinar, as you can tell, is going to be July 13th, and later in the evening from 5 to 6 p.m. We expect to conduct an in-person workshop with demonstrations on Saturday, October 22nd from 10 to 11 a.m. The location is still to be determined, not sure yet, but we'll let you know about probably at least a month in advance. So those are upcoming.
So join us, as Reina said. That live demo is going to be October, which is where we're trending to implement the program. So a live demo and seeing everybody who's here on the call would really be warm and welcoming.
Yes. It's going to be fun, exciting, and it'll be fun to see everybody in person and do our live demonstration and help out with any other questions you might have. Lastly, we just want to remind you that the City of La Quinta has a city website. So if you haven't seen it recently, please check it out. We newly remodeled it, and we have a really cool recycling. There's a recycling addition to it. It's revamped. It's really cool. There's so much helpful information there. And then, of course, you can always give us a call. You can see on the slide, there's a waste and recycling button to get to the recycling page. It's super easy. The new website contains lots of useful information for residents and commercial businesses, including collection services, rates, bulky item pickup, organic waste, information on SB 1383, household hazardous waste items, drop-off events, energy conservation tips, and plenty of recycling resources from national, state, and local organizations. So there's so much information to go through. Helpful tips we hope to have on there, consistently, and good questions that we get coming in, we'll post it on there so everybody has access to it. So we hope you enjoyed today. We hope that you found it helpful, and if you have any other questions, you have our information's up there. You can contact either Vertex or the city, and we'll be happy to get back to you. So thank you again to everybody, unless Jeremy, if you have any other, Clara?
Yes,
Nope.
thank you.
As Brenda said, as we continue to develop this program, our next webinar will focus a little bit more on the residential side, since our commercial friends are already participating, and we really wanted to make sure that we got the edible food requirement item as we come and visit your businesses to understand what those items are for edible food for commercial. But for residential, absolutely, the focus will be a little bit more intense. We'll talk about specifications on liners, on recommendations, on standard programs, a lot more virtual demos so that you can see exactly. I've been capturing all of my meals that I'm prepping. So maybe some of those things are relatable to you, but if you have any ideas, send them over to the city or to ourselves. And absolutely, your time is invaluable, and we appreciate every single one of you who have joined our call and our webinar. And thank you again for your time. And it is absolutely our pleasure. And again, any questions, call us. We'll take care of it.
Okay, so that ends our webinar. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We hope to see you at the next one. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. And this will be posted on the website for future use, download, or for any of your neighbors and friends, family that did not get to see this. Have a great rest of your day.